Hello, I'm Piyush. I work at OpenAI, as you can tell from my gear. Anyways, this week we had an offsite and I was number one on a leaderboard. Apparently, I used the most Codex in my entire org. After this event, so many people came to me and said, "Hey man, you have to tell me how you're using Codex. And like tell me about this workflow, that workflow. Oh, you're using heartbeat automations. Like what about heartbeat automation?" And like I had so much fun talking to everyone about it. Like as you can tell, I'm very passionate about Codex. But I've been thinking myself, say, why have I been using Codex so much? And the main reason I use so much Codex is it's kind of silly, but the best way to describe it is I have fallen in love with Codex. That's the truth. So I thought maybe I can share some of my thoughts. I mean, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is a love letter to Codex, because I may not talk like this to my colleagues. We'll keep our conversation more practical. But I've been using so much Codex. Like I'm the kind of looking forward to use Codex. Like that's what being in love is, right? In some ways, like I'm like, oh, in the morning. Uh, in fact, there's a meme, and that applies to me. I don't even turn off my laptop lid fully. I always keep it slightly open so that my Codex is always running. Where to start? So maybe I can start by telling you what I do. So OpenAI fundamentally is a research and deployment co. It's a research and deployment company. Fundamentally, as like just you have to understand at a simple level. I like breaking things down very simply. I think it's called in high-tech language being a reductionist, which is frowned upon. Intelligent people don't like it. I understand. But like I find it easy to get an intuition about things like that. So let's do the same. Fundamentally, OpenAI is a research and deployment company. Research, you can think like they're making the models. So they work on GPT. Okay. They are making intelligence. These guys are themselves so intelligent. I'm not in research. So I just want to say I'm not from research. I'm from deployment. So like there are researchers and then there are people working in deployment. I'm in deployment. But I just want to make a comment that the researchers are working on the intelligence, the model, GPT, and they themselves are so intelligent. And the reason I'm laughing is I was telling this to my wife. Have you ever seen that meme where you try to represent someone very intelligent with this person who's basically your brain, and his brain turns into his body, sometimes a sofa. Anyways, if you have not seen, you probably think I'm a mad person. Anyway, I've seen these people. They exist. This is not a mock up. And they work at places like the research of OpenAI. Sometimes in the cafeteria, I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Did I step on your neuron? All that to say is these really smart people are trying to work on models, and these models are getting more and more intelligent. GPT this, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 5.5 is just crushing it. Always increasing in intelligence. Intelligent people making intelligent models. Now, what does deployment do? Which is where I work. So, the job of deployment basically is to identify, okay, in principle, the model can do this, but in practice, it's not doing it. There's a gap. We must identify what this gap is and we must rectify it. So, we'll deploy. There's a word called capability overhang. So, like, we'll identify, okay, like, what is the gap in capability? Capability overhang between what this model can actually do because it is intelligent enough, but it's not doing. How do we make the model do things? So you can think of ChatGPT as like the first deployment product, or at least the first that went viral. Okay, there might be many. Earlier, people were only buying GPT through API. They're like, okay, Just give us access directly to the model and we'll figure out what to do next. And then ChatGPT is like, oh, we'll make the model talk. So ChatGPT made GPT talk. How? One fundamental thing I think to appreciate the beauty of all this, no, you have to understand. In ChatGPT, it seems like it's a continuous conversation, but no, actually, GPT has no idea of anything that happened before that. GPT lives every time, imagine if like this person for whom every second is a new second. It's like that for GPT. GPT will take input, make output, forgets it immediately. There's no connection. You just do it's one call, you call it. Like this is just happening. Input's going, output's coming. It's not like it remembers what the input was. So what ChatGPT does under the hood is, let's think of, it's actually very ridiculous. We don't talk like this, but imagine if people were talking like this. Two people are there. Hey Piyush, hey Jason. Hey Piyush, hey Jason, what's going on? Hey Piyush, hey Jason, what's going on? Nothing much. Just hanging out. Hey Piyush, hey Jason, what's going on? Nothing much. Just hanging out. Hey, you wanna go for bowling? So, like, you understand? So weird, no? If people were talking like this, every conversation, every next sentence, they're saying they'll repeat everything they've said before. That's actually what's happening inside ChatGPT. Again, not exactly, but yes, pretty much. This intuition is right. ChatGPT is every new sentence you will say in a conversation, it is stitching that with everything that has been said before in that conversation and sending it to GPT. And what GPT is doing is, every time it talks, it is taking all the previous things that have been spoken in that conversation as context. And the remarkable thing about GPT is, given enough context, no, it will predict the next thing very accurately, given enough context. So, okay, this conversation can keep going on, no problem. We will just give it the entire history of the conversation. It always tends to predict what must come next in the sentence. So, this GPT thing has amnesia, no problem. But they have, ChatGPT has designed this really nice hack. Just every time you keep giving, no problem. It will predict. I remember, oh my God. My daughter, my first daughter was born October 2022. I went to paternity leave. My first child, we are living in US. No help here. Oh my God, we need these leaves. And something crazy has happened in the world. ChatGPT has arrived. I'm here in potty and vomit and in that world. And I have never seen anything like that. What they do, they deployment. That's the organization I come from. We identify, oh, this model, if we do this, no, use it like this, we can create something magical. So ChatGPT made GPT talk. Now, what is Codex? Why did I get this April? Why am I in love with it? It can make GPT work. ChatGPT made GPT talk. Codex can make GPT work. It is remarkable. It is absolutely remarkable. By the way, I'm not saying that Codex is the only game in town. No. I love Cloud Code. I can prove it. I've been using it since May of 2025. And not just using it like a normal user. No. I don't know if most people remember, but sometime in the early launch of Cloud Code, these guys went mad. There were a group of people who were They were saying abusing Claude Code. No, no, sorry, sir. I was not abusing. I had never witnessed such power in my life. There is this idea in Hindu mythology. Almost all gods are illustrated with like many, many hands. I like felt like Brahma. When I used Claude Code, I was like, oh my god, Divya is here. I love Claude Code also. I love Cursor also. I love a law. Like I love technology in general. However, I'm only in love with Codex. And there's a reason, and that's what I want to share. It is remarkable because, see, when ChatGPT can make GPT talk, right? When you're talking, no, what's the worst that can happen? You will say some nonsense or some blast radius of talking going horribly wrong is limited. I don't want to use the word blast radius now. It is unfortunate that I used it for talking going horribly wrong. But the point I'm trying to say is you cannot take risks with working going wrong. That's why Codex is special here. It is designed with enterprise level reliability in mind. And not just that, like that is given a priori. That must be true. Okay. It is the way it has made GPT work. No, like there are some things that I've come to understand. It is just a thing of beauty, I tell you. I'm telling you, let me give you an example. Actually, let's stick with the same example or the same pattern of example we use for ChatGPT. ChatGPT was doing this crazy conversation. Hey, Piyush, hey, Jason. Hey, Piyush, hey, Jason. What's going on? You know? Now, when it comes to making GPT work, you understand it's not just a conversation. No, what is work? You must have heard like Claude Code, Codex. These are coding agents. So let's think of some coding work. In coding, sometimes you'll be like, hey man, my software has broken. Please fix it. What needs to be done? Oh, we must identify what is the error coming in this code. Oh, how do I fix it? Oh, let me try this. Oh man, it didn't work. Let me try this. Oh, looks like this one. Okay, yeah man, I fixed it. You see that there's so many steps you have to take. How like do you understand the level of complexity you have to do like this cycle thing like this were just with words when it comes to like doing things it is with like files and like copying pasting editing. How will you know if the thing that you applied worked or not in that code? You have to execute code. Oh my god, do you realize to give something the ability to execute code is the give someone the ability to execute any thought only. Here, it's like ultimate genie, at least in the digital realm. Anyways, this hey Jason, hey Piyush example is not good enough to give you an intuition for how complex this level of crazy talk business needs to be. And this is the only way, by the way. You must understand. It's not that, oh, some remarkable thing has happened. No matter how intelligent research is, right now, they have not figured out this thing. Every time you ping, you let's say ping, the word, I don't know what it is, the official word. I'm not from research. I don't know if they call it calling the model or invoking the model or querying the model or sampling the model. There's so many words I don't understand. Let's use the word Ping. It's a common word. So you ping the model and the model will ping you back. Every ping is a new ping. It's not like your fourth ping, the thing will remember what you. No, no, no. You fourth ping has to come with the previous three pings. That must be there. But what I'm trying to say is for you to make this GPT work, how do I give you into okay? This remember hey Piyush, Jason, this just conversation level. Now think this universe, entire universe. Every next second. So this how old is this universe? 14 billion or something years. It's a long time. Cannot imagine. It's so long. Now imagine if every next second that comes, a universe has an age, so there is a next second coming. Imagine if every next second was not like the next second. No, no, no. 14 million years, we came till here. The next second is for 14 years, billion years. Again, we will run. And then the next second will come. Do you realize how crazy that is? It is the most crazy thing. If that was the case, the entire universe, 14 billion years will happen again, and then 14 million next second. So billion, 1 second, and then the next second. Such level of humanity has to be. Why? Because files are being opened. Like these things, they're called tool calls, this, that, and something will change. And oh my god. So the I want to you to get an appreciation or some intuition into the gargantuan nature of the complexity of what needs to be managed now this with the GPT. So that's why the word maybe harness is getting popular. Like that's what harness is ultimately. It's like, okay, how do we make this thing work? The harness is what makes this thing work, Work is, I'm saying work means you have some goal, you must achieve that goal. Okay? It's very complicated. So it needs very complicated, you can say software to do this. So harness is nothing but a software, very complicated software that makes GPT work. Like think of Codex as work GPT. ChatGPT made GPT talk. Codex made GPT work. Think of it like that. Now, how is Codex doing this? That's what I want to talk about today. Sorry, like till now, I was like trying to make you understand like what is the complicated thing here. No, you understand now the insane level of complexity we have to handle. So the reason I'm in love with Codex is that Codex has been able to handle this complexity of gargantuan nature very, very well. In fact, it has done it so reliably. Well, over here comes with the assumption of reliability. Reliability has many aspects. First of all, it should work. One thing you will notice, there's a very funny meme. I like memes because memes have a way of helping you understand some things that would otherwise take many, many minutes or hours, weeks, years. Anyways, which showed Claude Code's downtime. Like everyone knows they've had issues with compute because they didn't plan for it. And to be fair to Mr. Dario Amodei, he had his reasons. He was like, okay, this thing is growing and we also need to be responsible financially. So let's buy this much compute. Mr. Sam Moore, his prediction for future is different. He's like, this thing is going to go berserk once, because see, he thinks from the point of view of capability overhang. He's like, the next thing is work. Okay. Once we can make GPT work more, like people will feel the AGI. There is something inside OpenAI that it's talked a lot. You see it in the office of headquarters, feel the AGI. First session when you join the company, feel the AGI. Mr. Sam Altman predicted the future accurately. He bought the compute. And that is paying off now. In terms of number one thing, reliability. You should be there, no? Like you're not there only. So the meme I was coming back to frozen bell peppers packet in which you have multicolored peppers. And for reliability, that is not a very good thing when it comes to uptime. So that must be that. That's like the main thing. Like, oh, you must exist, no? If you don't exist, don't even work. Anyways, once you exist, can you do the work reliably? It's a very hard thing to solve. And I think Codex has solved it. And it is very important to understand this because, like, think about Microsoft Excel. Like, if you go into all the ways Microsoft Excel has changed the world, it will take hours, maybe days to fully appreciate it. That is another thing. Anyways, the reason why Microsoft Excel felt, spread like wildfire is that people who are doing, let's say, for like we're using spreadsheets and they did a full sum of a column, they were not second guessing that this mathematics behind this is correct or not. They assumed it is correct only, but now look what we can do. And Codex has achieved that for work, all work. It is like the Microsoft Excel moment for agents you can think. Now you can do any work reliably, meaning you want something done. If you're saying it's done, it is done. Okay? anything in the digital realm, at least for now. Want to be wowed? Download Codex right now. If you have a Mac OS enabled device, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, iMac, Mac Mini, something that runs Mac OS, download the Codex app. And then you use this thing called CUA. What is CUA? Computer Use Agent. There is this thing called computer use. Download that plugin. It's very simple. Download. When I say download, it's in one click. Install the plugin. And you ask it to open. So, like, you have to go through the onboarding, which is very easy and very nice. You see, to do something on your computer. You watch it. And watch it. It is the same feeling you will have that I had when I first sat in the lane. Everyone will say they build their CUA. You compare. That's when you realize what Codex is. Do you understand? It is the spreadsheet moment, Microsoft Excel moment. You see what will happen next. Look, again, we've talked about it. I love Cloud Code. You go to my Twitter. You see when I was talking about Cloud Code. Much before most people even knew what Cloud Code was. I'm not saying I was the only one. There were very few people. I was one of those people who they called out, who were they were saying abusers, not abusers. We were running. I've never witnessed anything like this. First of all, it's closed source. Codex is open source. How it is running, you can see exactly under the hood. Cloud Code, you cannot see. What I don't understand what the open source model. I'm not that brain person. Unlike code, where you can see the source code, open source model, what can you see? Some random numbers are there. Main thing is open source, you can run it yourself. You know how hard it is to run. Like the things that you can run are not that intelligent. Anyways, harness should be open source. That is what you can understand. That needs to be inspected. What will you inspect? Yes, you can fine tune and all that. OpenAI has some open source. It's actually pretty good only. How should be open source? I have still not come to like the exact why Codex, like what under the hood. I cannot go through everything also. Let me give you some intuitions, fundamental intuitions. Let's go back to the example. Hey Piyush, hey Jason. Hey Piyush, hey Jason. What's going on? Hey Piyush, hey Jason. What's going on? Nothing much. Just hanging out. Remember? No. This is just words, conversation. When you do work, no, it's not just conversations. It is actions. Loop of actions. And when you take actions, no, actions have impact. Let's say with the GPT is the brain, the harness is the body. Okay. So the body can make it do work, take actions. Now, but the body is taking over the real world. Now, if you take a saw, what is this thing called? My English is not very good, as you might have noticed. Saw, axe, axe. Take an axe, do an action like this many times. A tree will fall. The tree falling might be relevant, no, to the work you're doing. Your actions have impact. All that also will need to be given to the model to be able to see what is the model doing. In the case of ChatGPT, it is predicting what to say next given some context. Now it is to predict what to do next given some context. Now, if you keep doing this loop, because see, first of all, this loop, in the case of conversation, it is easy to know when it stops. One person stops speaking, it is stopped. If a work, it's not that easy to know, right? So that's why you have to understand this loop. Someone has to manage this loop. And how to know when the work is over, man? That itself is not easy. So now let's think about this loop. This is the most fundamental thing. Like this GPT, you have to loop it now. Till when? Till the work is done. How will we know the work is done? GPT will tell us when the work is done. Oh, how will GPT know when the work is done? That's what the harness will do. It will keep telling GPT, okay, this is going on, this is going on. So imagine your body, is, the brain is getting feedback from your body. Body is taking some action, and brain's like, okay. This is happening. This do next, do next, do. So this loop is happening. Continuously, this loop is happening. Codex is managing this. Actually, let's get a little bit more precise with terminology because Codex, what in OpenAI, everything is only Codex now. Codex, the app that you may know, is Codex. The thing that powers Codex is also called Codex, and the thing that powers that is also called Codex. So, Codex, the app, fundamentally, I will not go through all the layers, but at the most core layer is being powered by the Codex core harness. This core harness you must understand. This this thing is amazing, you know. It's fantastic. This thing, this core harness. So this looping is going on, going on, going on. In the case of this conversation, hey Piyush, hey Jason, it's just words. No, this looping is going on. There's so much of us. The GPT is okay. Another thing, why is Nvidia? Everyone's talking about Nvidia. Did you hear of Nvidia before? 5 years back, 10 years back, did no one? Some people did. People were playing games, but now everyone knows. I think this week they're saying Google will take over. Maybe it already did, but for the last so many years, 3, 4, 5 years since AI has been happening, Nvidia has become the most valued company on earth. Why? GPUs. What is this? The thing that is LLMs now The hottest thing is at one point people were hunting for gold. Is more valuable than that also. It is very expensive. Every time you have to do when you're giving previous work, do you understand? Like for conversation, one loop is just few sentences, few words. When you do this looping even work related things, no, like think of any simple work. These things started as coding engines. So let's take some simple coding thing. Oh, hey, I'm getting this error. Can you please fix it? Do you understand? First, oh my god, I cannot even break it down. There's so many things that are like giant context things that will now get needed to be get added in one ping. And then imagine like so just to understand the error, you have to open the file of the error. So firstly, that itself has many loops, like model will be like, oh, this guy is saying error. Error in what? And the harness will be like, oh, like th- he did add the rate to this thing. So it must be about this file. Hey, this file. So like, hey, open this file. You understand? Like this back and forth is happening. Like the harness is kind of like managing this dance between me. This person is saying this, model is saying this. I have like all these files and stuff. Like all this, the harness has to manage and it has to like process. Imagine by the like 10th ping, who have to process like the previous 9 pings of these expensive things, GPUs that everyone's trying to chase. How do you do it? It came up with this amazing concept, caching. What we're saying is on the 10th ping, the previous 9 pings were cached. It will not take time to compute. It will not do the whole message again. 90%, it has already been done. We'll only process the new one. That's amazing. Give us less money, it will be faster also because it's already processed. This is amazing. And the output quality is the same. It is same. There's some technology called KV caching that does all this. It's something like key value pair, something to do with the attention layers of the large language model itself. You don't need to go there. Point is, the harness manages this caching and it's very strict, like the Codex harness. That's why I keep coming back to reliability. I work with the most sophisticated digital native companies on earth. I spent my entire career working with such companies. These are like, I don't want to take names. They are the cutting edge of the cutting. These are names you have heard. Hundreds of billions of dollars worth companies, okay? They want enterprise grade reliability. And for them, when they use AI, build agents, all these things you would have heard, whatever, they do some things with AI. They don't just like most people outside will look at some benchmark, oh, AJR 3, 1%, 80%, 70% needs trend. Okay, all this is good. But companies don't evaluate, you know, Anthropic OpenAI like that. They're like more intelligent about it. They're like, okay, these things have some capability, but obviously it costs something. More capable, the more cost. Oh no, there's push and pull there. Also looks like the more capable it is, the more time it takes to run. And like more time it takes to run, more costly it is. Okay. But if you make it less capable, oh, it is faster to run and it costs less, although that's great. But oh, it is not working that way. Oh no. How to manage all this thing? It's always like this game. So the point is, Codex is made from that enterprise grade mentality. And this caching, they're very, very strict, very strict. They're like, oh, this 9 pings that are getting added, no, onto the 10th one. They say that, look, you cannot mess with the sanctity of that. Even one word you will change, no, nothing will get cached. So that benefit you're getting, that will be cheap. What I mean by cheaper is, if you're very curious, go and read something called a model card. In that, there will be price. The models are priced as tokens. How many tokens came in? How many tokens came out? There is special pricing called caching pricing. It is like 90% discount. That's amazing. It's so expensive to run AI. 90% discount. Caching. And then this Codex, the harness manages this caching very well because it is strict. So very strict. But another problem, no matter how much you cached, but this thing will keep growing. No? Imagine like for some long running tasks, if you keep doing even with caching and keep adding, this thing will become so long. See, there's a problem. You might have heard of this thing called context window. By the way, like this thing that I keep talking about loop, like which is you put something. What is it? What is GPT doing? We talked about. Given some context, it can predict what to say next, what to do next. Now, this context, how much can you give? That has some limitation. Let's call context window. The other problem you have hit is okay, like after a while it will, and that's a huge problem. In fact, another meme. If you used any of these coding agents, Cloud Code, Codex, sometime in May, June 2025, the moment it would say auto compacting, suddenly you're in the zone. Auto compacting. You lose the will to live for those mere seconds. It is the worst thing. It is because, oh my God, auto compaction is death. It's a huge problem. I'm not blaming Cloud Code, not blaming what they have created. All I'm saying is it was it is very, very hard to manage. And what is auto compaction? What they the trick they developed is okay, this thing, this context window is getting full, the limit is achieving. Let's after some time let's summarize what has been said. And we will free up the remaining. So let's say a lot was said. Let's go back to conversation. We don't understand. Hey Piyush, hey Jason. Maybe they went to Golden Gate Park. They've been talking for 3 hours. Oh my God. Like how long I've been talking? I don't know how many long. Oh, I guess I've been talking maybe more than an hour. That conversation is going to become so long. At some point, this context window will hit. You have to go back. What you do is summarize the conversation. When it started, hey Piyush, hey Jason, we said, hey, some pleasantries were exchanged for 5 minutes. Cool. Bad. It's good enough. Like that conversation keep going on. If you say first 5 minutes, pleasantries were exchanged, how bad will that impact the context? So let's say on the third hour they are discussing, yeah, so my kid, he doesn't want to do poo poo without his diaper. I don't know what to do. And next thing you have to predict, see that what is being said is more than sufficient in this case to predict what to say next. That said, if you knew that, oh, these guys are friends, some pleasantries are exchanged, this and that, it will change the tonality of how you said, hey man, there's a role play going on and you also have it's like, hey man, my kid had the same problem. And it's a typical thing with kids. So, okay, pleasantries are exchanged, sure, good to summarize. But see, when it comes to work, you can't just all summarize. It is an art and a science. What in that, how do we free up this context in OpenAI has the best compaction. I have till now, obviously, then my biases are, it has been glaring in the face for the last 1 hour or whatever. So what? It is the truth. I have this I figured out something. I had one single thread running for the last 1 month. I don't worry about auto compaction anymore. It has gone through 100 compactions. Doesn't matter. I have it running with heartbeat automations, and there's a reason why. Talk about AI build, AGI build, Claude build, this build, that build. One more. Monothread build. One thread, one conversation. Right? It's good enough. The idea is think about thread, this conversation as like one long running task. It's going on, going on. That's what Codex can do. And the reason it can, in fact, Mr. Steinberger, OpenClaw, runs on the Pi harness. Another amazing harness. Third tangent I'm going to take. You could write a love letter. In fact, there is a love letter that's maybe has what has inspired my calling it a love letter. That one is a shorter one and much better than what this is becoming. A love letter to Pi. There is one, you can watch that video, very good video. In that, one thing he says, if you understand, you only understand if you use these agents. But one thing he says, the power of Pi, the power of open source harnesses, and Pi especially because it's so composable, is let's say you're doing something with your agent and you've gone into a wrong rabbit hole. Now what we do is, this is not working. Let's try this. He's saying that's not a good thing for LLMs. Imagine if there was a way to wipe its memory. This wrong branch we took, this wrong rabbit hole, forget this ever happened. Like, you're not saying forget this ever happened in the prompt. You're just actually having a way of implementing that forget it ever happened. That's what PyHarness can do. It can remove that chunk from the context window altogether. Now, next turn, this word has a meaning. Next turn, you go into another branch. You know the person that this happened, but the LLM doesn't, and it actually works better that way. It's a funny moment. He says, like, don't argue with the LLMs. What are you doing, man? Never argue with them, or never say, oh, this is wrong. Can you do this in Codex? No, I don't know. You can fork the open source repo and maybe make. Point is, there is some value to being an innovator in a harness. Okay, like you very well. Codex is optimizing for long running tasks. It can go through many compaction cycles. I have seen instances in which my Codex has 3 agents running. It will auto compact that. I would have a heart attack if that happened pre-2026. Now I don't even bother. It will resume. In fact, in some time they will remove this message auto compacting. Why should we be bothered with all that? Now that this thing you understand, this loop, it can just keep running for a long time. I mentioned Peter Steinberger. He put a tweet. There's a new feature in Codex, or you can say goal. He put, who knows what goal he put. It ran for, I don't remember, 13, 14 hours or something like that. Absolutely crazy. How it is possible? The Codex core harness. The magic is in this auto compaction. It keeps freeing up the context window. And the little thing that it keeps the way it is doing doesn't matter. I can give some intuitions. What is happening in the most recent is captured very effectively. There's Many more things to it. The way tool calls, maybe you're in the middle of tool calls. See, when you wake up from the auto completion, then see, every ping goes to a new GPT. The ping is new, the invocation. Eh, So after a compaction, the new thing also has no awareness as to what happened. So suddenly you are going to remove 80, 90% of the contacts and you will compress it into whatever. It must behave as if that didn't happen. Its ability to predict is dependent on the context it has. And you have just reduced the context without impacting its ability to predict. But that's so difficult. In fact, it is so good. They actually have an API endpoint for it. What that means? You're like, oh my god, oh my god, this auto compaction. I don't want to use anything else from OpenAI. I don't like that. This auto compaction is cool. I want to use it. You use it. There's some nuances to it, but you can use it. Yes, it's usable. It's available in the API. So it has impact on caching also. Like earlier, you were saying that you cannot change one word also. That's why they are so sacrosanct. Because you see, the harness is like this. There's all these stuff in the context. The way it's arranging it is a very specific way, so you get the benefits of caching, cost, benefit, latency. No, it's auto compaction. Oh my god, crazy. So these are two things that are kind of conflicting. You have to manage it. No? That's what the Codex core harness is. This dance between action and caching. What? How? There are ways to do it. So, but brains. Okay. So, with these two problems solved very well, the harness has now made GPT work because you can work for a long time. That's why I use so much Codex. Every moment it is not running, I feel anxiety. Oh my god, work is not happening because it is doing a lot of work for me. I'm also doing more work. I don't know what's going on. It's not that I don't. I'm more busy than I was before Codex. I enjoy the work. I talk to people. My sushi is recording. What does it matter? Codex will do the work that I don't like or work I don't want to do in that moment. But I'm still doing work that I like. Anyways, like this does not work. But I like that.